Ahoy, ahoy, here I am. I'm late. I know I'm adrift. Stop moaning. Hang on. I've got all sorts going on here. I thought I was going to have to skip it today because one of my employees was adrift. So that made me adrift because unlike so many of the scruffy twats that go on YouTube, I actually do work for a living. So I've got other things going on. However, let me just plug these in. I'll be ready for action in a moment. Also, this is going to look really disgusting and crabby because I really hate dirty people that eat on the internet. But I smashed it in the gym today and I've had nothing. I didn't even have time to make a protein shake, so I literally grabbed a brick of cheese from the fridge. I thought that'll give me some much needed protein and carbs to get on with. So hang on. Oh. Sorted. Right. What's the date? It's the 13th of July. Huzzah.
It's Wednesday, the 13th of July, 2022.
There you go. She told me. A brick of cheese. Perfect. Nutritious after a training session. I just did stuff. Yeah. Well, you know, when that's what you do for a living, that's what your channel's all about. Fair dues. But what I'm getting at is I don't like it when you see like political commentators or something. There's a reason why they all wear a suit. You know what I mean? And I seen Hassan Piker doing it once, and he was like fully eating a burrito while he's on a stream, and I was like, you know what I mean? Like actually spending 10 minutes eating a fucking burrito while you're meant to be talking at length about political issues. It doesn't look very professional, does it? Yeah, if you fucking make a food channel, there's a few I watch eating shit on YouTube. His mate Ben as well. They're funny to watch. And there's professional eaters that are funny. Have you seen that guy like called the Toadmeister or something? And he's like a professional eater. And he can eat like fucking 3 boxes of cereal in about 2 minutes. It's interesting to watch, but political commentary. And you don't want to see like Mark Stein in a suit and tie just suddenly whip out like a foot-long meatball sandwich and be like, yeah, so Jess Phillips. You know what I mean? Although, hey, that could have been an impression of Jess Phillips. That's how Jess Phillips got the fucking job, let's be honest. That could have been an impression of the great lady herself. Anyway. Let's do some political news, right? Whilst not eating a brick of cheese. Euro falls below the dollar for the first time in 20 years. Why is this a political fucking win for us? Well, I'll tell you why, ladies and gentlemen. You know the Angry Bootneck is a man, a pragmatist, a realist. Oh, look at that. No, Vicky. Surely not. Surely Susan does all she can to promote and support this channel. She's a big believer in the compact between creators and owners and does everything she can to grow the channel. Does she fuck? That raddled spunk bouter. She knows nothing about fucking integrity. Those people repulse me. 3 years I've been at this. If YouTube was an actual meritocracy and they put any effort at all into sharing my content with people, don't tell me that I wouldn't at least have the same amount of subscribers as some fucking unfunny, charmless tosspot like Owen Jones. How's Owen Jones got 300,000 fucking subscribers? He's about as entertaining as a boot in the bollocks. I'd rather go to the dentist for a fucking root canal than listen to that horrible, scrawny, jizz fucking belt. Bloke's an arsehole. Anyway. You know, I'm not going to be obscene about Owen Jones. It'll gradually creep into being hate speech if somebody reports it. But suffice it to say, the man's got no charm or charisma. I've only seen 3 T-shirts. I haven't seen any. I live in hope that one day I'll actually see someone wearing one out. That's all I want to. Like I said, I don't make any money off them. I literally off a T-shirt I make about £1.50 or something. Because again, if you're not a big creator, you don't make any money off fucking YouTube. Because you have to get everybody else to do it, and the big boys take the piss, don't they? Redbubble. I think I'll sell a t-shirt for like $19.99. I literally get about £1. It's something like 10% or something ridiculous. YouTube, they make revenue of like billions, and I've still never had a single penny off YouTube. All the super chats and all the advertising, I've had nothing. I think you have to hit a 60 quid threshold, and then I'm unsure how I'm actually supposed to get the money, because whenever I try to fucking log into AdSense, it just says, sorry, the servers are down. So again, maybe I'm a conspiracy theorist, but I don't care. I was talking to a friend of mine about this yesterday. Conspiracy theorist is just an insult that they used to use, invented by the CIA to stop people from taking anybody serious. But my dad always said he was a conspiracy theorist. And when I was in my 20s and my early 30s, I used to argue with him and say, fucking hell, it's ridiculous that. How can you be a conspiracy theorist? And he was like, because you think I'm talking about Elvis is still alive. Elvis is still alive, and he's playing the bagpipes on the Loch Ness Monster's back. You know, him and Lord Lucan wandering the Highlands, riding Nessie. And he was saying, that's not what it is. Some of it's bollocks, but they use the umbrella term conspiracy theorists so that anybody who questions the official narrative gets lumped in with the Elvis and the Loch Ness Monster and the moon landings blokes. And ultimately, that's where I'm at now. Conspiracy theorists. How many times over the last 2 years have the conspiracy theorists been proved right? Here's a classic example, right? Here's a rant. Klaus Schwab, he had a video conference and he goes in front of the cameras of his own volition, right? And there's hundreds of people sat there watching him. And he went on there, and you all know this because you're all fucking based, sensible people who go on YouTube, the sort of centrist, centre-right, right-wing YouTube community that actually pays attention to the world. But most people don't. They just get it off the radio and the television, CNN, CSNBC, the BBC, Sky News, Channel 4, and all those companies do is lie. So, we know it's a lie. It's not my opinion. You can find videos on YouTube where people have spent the time to make compilations, and literally there's hundreds of instances where they just outright lie, right? But Klaus Schwab went on, you've all seen the videos. I know I'm preaching to the converted. You've all seen the videos. He literally went on of his own volition in front of everybody, and he said, there will be the Great Reset. The talk was called The Great Reset, right? And he went, and you will own nothing, and you will be happy, dressed like fucking Davros, in his secret volcanic lair. And he actually said it with his own eye, with his own mouth. His lips moved, and he said, you will own nothing, and you will be happy. And then, when we all saw it and started going, fucking hell, that's a bit mad, isn't it? They're talking about this great reset and they say we're not going to own anything. The BBC and Channel 4 and MSNBC and CNN and NPR and all these big organisations went on telly and went, conspiracy theorist that. And people like us are sat there going, like I literally watched him say it. And you can still find it on YouTube, but they're safe in the knowledge that most people aren't based and get a lot of their knowledge off the internet. They just get it off the telly and the radio, and they control the TV and the radio waves. And they literally say it with their own fucking mouth. Like, he goes on telly, and he's even dressed like a Bond villain. Like, he's got this weird black thing with, like, big shoulder pads on, and, like, a medallion round his fucking neck. And it's like, you will own nothing, and you will be happy. And then there was another one, which, again, Joe Rogan, that's why he's slowly gone up into the tens of millions. When Majid Nawaz was on Joe Rogan, he's there and he gets his phone out and he goes, I've got the video of Rishi Sunak, the second most powerful man in the UK at the time, giving a speech at the World Economic Forum saying, we all should get behind the global digital currency and we all should get behind the global centralized banking, because then if you want to buy something and the government don't like it, or maybe you've had too much booze this year, or too much meat, or maybe you want to buy a train ticket and you're a terrorist, or maybe you want to buy a plane ticket and you're a known criminal, we can just stop you from being able to do any of that. And again, when all the normal people went, fucking hell, it's a bit nefarious, isn't it? Are you telling me that you could use that and then you could say, oh yeah, the Angry Bootneck saying things we don't like him to say, so let's just stop him from being able to buy food? Or even worse, the people who listen to the Angry Bootneck or Joe Rogan or people that are actually big, which would be then you'd be talking about tens of millions of people. We can just gather all of their data because we know exactly what they watch and we know exactly what they listen to, and we don't like what they listen to, and we don't like what they watch, and just stop them all from being able to buy anything. Or yeah, I mean, so obvious, because normal people put it together instantly. It's like, hang on, so if you control the global currency and we're not using paper money anymore, you can do that. You can go, oh, fucking hell, this right-wing person saying things we don't like, turn his currency off. Tell him he can't have any cans for 3 weeks, and then he'll come crawling back with his cap in his hand and say, oh, yeah, I'll say whatever you want. And loads of people, because they're not stubborn, angry men like me, they haven't got the emotional fucking willpower. They haven't got the intestinal fortitude like I have, where I'd rip my own fucking heart out and eat it before I'd ask the government for any assistance. They'll kowtow, or they'll bend the knee. They'll say, all right, I'm really desperate for some steak, some fags and some beer. So I'll just stop listening to Joe Rogan and I'll just start telling whatever you want me to say, and I'll just do whatever you want me to do. So fuck that. Fuck that. I'm not doing it. And yes, Mr. Walk, it's not random speculation. Do some research before you gob off. Rishi Majid now has brought his receipts and he sat there in front of Joe Rogan on camera with his videos, and that's what they said. Digital currency, they're all wanting to get behind it because they can turn your money off like a fucking tap. And again, we'll don't worry, we'll stick up for you, you silly twat. When you lads are fucking crying about it in 10 years' time, we've got your back, so don't worry about it. Right, rant over. We all know what's happening. We don't need to talk about it anymore, do we? It doesn't mean we have to get upset about it. Like I said, I've got that personality, and I like to think most people that listen to me are the same, right? Fuck them. They can turn off my fucking taps and stop me from being able to buy scratch cards and cans, and I'll sit in the fucking dark, cackling maniacally, knowing that they won't get me to do what they want me to do. So fuck them. I don't care. All you need to do is be a stubborn bastard. That one, again, this is where I'm with the conspiracy theorists. I think it's undeniable at this point. Honestly, again, this is what I keep saying to fucking these woke cunts. You've just got to face the mirror. And this is what I've always told all you guys. If your life's not going well, instead of blaming people for it, you've got to look at yourself in the mirror. When you're having a shave, it's the best time. It's quiet. You're on your own. You're focused. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, what am I doing? What am I doing that could help the situation I'm in? Am I drinking too much? Am I eating too much shit? Am I not doing enough exercise? Am I going to bed too late? Am I getting up too late? Am I dressing scruffy? Am I not applying to enough jobs? There's things you can do every single day to make your life better. And all anybody wants to do is fucking whinge. It's, you've got to face the mirror, right? All the time. And as I said, my political views, because I'm not woke and I'm not brainwashed, they've evolved. 20 years ago, I voted for Labour. 10 years ago, I voted for Conservative. Now I'm a floating voter. I'm all over the place because I face the mirror and I tell myself, what does the evidence suggest is the most likely? And even as go back as about 5 years ago, honest, I would have said I didn't really believe in aliens. But now, after listening to a lot of people, Joe on Rogan's podcast, reading it myself, I listened to Tom DeLonge, who was the singer from Blink 182. And I listened to him talking about it on his YouTube channel. And he was saying how basically everyone calls him a weirdo because he goes on about UFOs all the time. But honestly, he just came across as being really sincere. And I see no reason for him to lie about it. Like he's past the nadir of his career and he's got enough money and he's not trying to do it to sell records, obviously. I think he's extremely sincere. So when he was telling me that he basically just went and talked to all the top boys at like NASA, and they said to him, yeah, we're pretty certain that we're getting visited now. And we don't mind you talking about it, because we basically need to slowly introduce the idea to society so everybody gets used to it, so everybody doesn't fucking freak out and go mental. And that really, really sort of touched me. And I just thought, I believe that mad cunt. You know what I mean? And that's what I think's the difference between me and people that are woke. I'll change my mind. If you give me enough evidence for something, I'll change my mind. I remain convinced that I'll change my mind on socialism. If we invent the replicators and we completely remove the need for anybody to strive to make things with their own hands, it'll work. I firmly believe it. Like the people who want to be creative and want to work will do stuff, and the people who don't will sit on their ass all day, plugged into a machine, you know, wanking in the basement. And it'll work, because we won't have to rely on people to create for us. So I'll change my mind on socialism if something fundamentally changes. But I think, again, I'm not saying it's 100%, because like I said, I'm a man of reason. But all I'm saying is I've definitely shifted my opinion. I don't think that guy was lying about it. I think he was extremely sincere. So what I'm saying is, I'm definitely open to the idea that it's fucking happening. There's been a lot of fucking evidence. It can't all be bollocks. Now, what you could say is maybe there's simply unidentified flying objects, as in they've been created by another nation. It could be some fucking tip-top secret Chinese fucking thing. That's possible. But I'm definitely open-minded on that type of shit. And I don't think that proves anything, what you've just said there, Winston, that one, because speed of light makes it highly unlikely, if not impossible, right? But the thing is, it'll break why can't they break the laws of physics? I do know, because I love reading about cosmology and shit. I do know that the size of the universe is like unfucking believable. Like unbelievable. Even if you're traveling at the speed of light, it'll take you like fucking 20 years to get to the next galaxy or something. Like, it's mental. But why not breaking the laws of physics? Why not a wormhole or some sort of portal that we don't fully understand? You press a button in your fucking device and it goes warp and opens a tear in space-time, like navigating the warp in 40K. Why couldn't they do that? I think that was the premise of Interstellar, wasn't it? The assumption was that we had gone forward and then we'd opened the wormhole that allowed you to go into it near Saturn or whatever it was and turn up in a galaxy 50 billion light years away. So all I'm saying is I'm definitely not 100% against the idea. And if there's as many planets out there as we say, which is, you know, literally fucking trillions and trillions of them, you can't even count them because the cosmos is so vast. I'm definitely not saying it definitely can't be. No way. So I'm mega open-minded to aliens. I just think it would freak everybody out, especially the religious people. Like, I think it's sort of scary to think about how they'd respond. You know, like the followers of fucking the regulars at Alan's legendary snack bar. What would the regulars of Alan's snack bar make of aliens? Because their entire life is built around they believe the literal truth of every single letter in their holy book was translated over a 20-year period by the Holy Spirit to the fucking mad mental midget Moore. They reckon the mad mental midget wrote it all down, and it was literally coming to him into his ears from the Spirit of God. So they'd go fucking off it, wouldn't they? Like, we think they go off it now. When you draw a picture of the mad mental midget, what would they do if we just basically shit all over their entire worldview? If the United States came out and said, right, listen, there's aliens, they've been in touch, they said we're thick as fuck, but they're definitely there, and they said we're a bunch of cunts and we need to sort our lives out and we need to do this, this, and this, or because we're just a bunch of warlike chimps. The regulars at Alan's would go fucking ballistic. Like, there is no way they would believe it, would they? Because their book contradicts it. It says, you know, God made us and we're unique and all that. God made the universe. They'd go fucking off it. They'd go off it. They would assume that it was a conspiracy, wouldn't they? So I can just see it massively kicking off. Like, do you remember when they had them global riots after that Innocence of fucking, I can't say any of the words, when they made that film, and it was after Benghazi, and basically there was global riots. There was global riots about Charlie Hebdo and Everybody Draw Momo Day. So I think if the United Nations came out and said, oh yeah, they're real, I think there'd be like global fucking chaos. I think there'd be 1 billion people going completely fucking off it in the streets. So yeah, it's an interesting thing to talk about. But I'm definitely open to the idea. We'll just leave it at that, shall we? Anyway, that was a long rant about bollocks, so I haven't even done any news. Let's do this first one. What's the global pro to this massive financial crisis? I've got one. The pragmatic bootneck, giving you guys some good news mixed in with the bad. The euro falling below the dollar for the first time in 20 years is good news. You know why? Because it's less likely that French tourists will come to California. Ha ha! Now there you go. Is that not good news? Now it's even less likely that I'll be out for a walk and I'll bump into a fucking lecherous, sexual deviant, garlic munching sex pest from France. Aha, winner. So I'm loving that. I'm loving that. And this is why I wanted to talk about it. I'll answer Mr. Sadwings' question. As I've been talking about for many months, we in the United States are in a much better place than the EU SSR, and I'll tell you why. If you check the statistics out here, right, obviously, it looks pretty bad. If you're a conservative type like Mr. Sadwings, your sky is falling. Fucking hell, everyone's on welfare, all these ghetto moms. Oh my God. If you think it's bad here, go and have a look at the numbers in Europe. Sadwings. Europe's fucked. This is what I've been telling you lot for ages. Britain, 25% of the country is fucking disabled, apparently. The fact of the matter is, right, Britain and Europe are fucked. It's not working anymore. Every single day, another few thousand people move to Europe and get on welfare. People don't realise how bad it is in Europe. It's unbelievable that it's not going to work anymore. It used to work in the 80s when 9 out of 10 people were working, and for every 9 working, you had 1 person who was a drain on the state. But now, 50% of the fucking nation's a drain on the state in Europe, and every day it gets worse. Build back Bolshevik. Exactly. The reason the United States is pretty fucked, but it's nowhere near as fucked as Europe. Anyone that knows economics knows this. And you can't tell Sadwings and his conservative mates over here because the sky is falling, America's fucked. America's pretty fucked. But why do you think the Japanese shit themselves after Pearl Harbor? Because they knew. When they started planning, they realised that the mineral wealth, the resources that this gigantic fucking continent for a country could draw upon if it really needed to was terrified. Europe's got fuck all. So the reason the euros fell below the dollar is, I'm sorry to say, ladies and gentlemen, Europe's in the fucking shit. And like I keep saying, why history is merely a form of prophecy. Why wouldn't history repeat itself? Why wouldn't history repeat itself? Europe's going to go to fucking shit. Britain's slightly after. Everything's going to go tits up. People are going to start starving. Then you're going to get some right-wing mad cunt turn up. Probably German. And then it's going to fucking kick off. And then, guess what? Britain will be the last holdout because it's an island. So we'll get a right-wing as fuck government on, like Children of Men. And they'll start deporting people aggressively. And they'll hold out. Yeah, they'll fucking brick up the Channel Tunnel straight away. And guess what's going to happen? Lo and behold, Britain and America will have to fucking rock up and bail everyone out the shit again. Where have I seen that before? That's just, you fuckers, I'm telling you, people don't listen. I've been saying this for 3 years since I started doing it. That's what's going to happen. So you think America's fucked? It's not. It's not. If the shit really hits the fan, we have the capability, the resources, the natural wealth, and the will to fucking pull it back from the brink. Europe's fucked. It's a matter of time before one of those mad continental bastards goes fucking mental and restarts the bastard ovens. And I'm not talking about the pizza ovens, eh? I'm talking about the ones you put the fucking babies in. That's what always happens. History always repeats itself. How long have I been telling you? Mark my fucking words. Europe's fucked. Look at the numbers. Greece is fucked. Italy's fucked. Italy is fucked. Portugal, fucked. Ireland's fucking not that good in reality. It looks all right on paper. It's fucked. The whole of Europe it's on a knife edge. And all they've got is cooking the books and manipulating the currency and printing more money. It's totally fucked. It's totally fucked. The European project is doomed. And they just keep going, yeah. They've run out of ideas. They've run out of ideas. They haven't got the will to fix it. Just think about it, right? Think about it. Instead of me going on about the fucking history repeating itself, just think of it this way. Is Italy, let's say Italy, is Italy going to be better or worse in a year's time? Answers on a postcard. Is it going to be better? Is Italy going to have less illegal immigration, less drains on the state, less welfare fraud, less benefit fraud, less people sucking on the state tit, and more people working in a year's time? Answers in the fucking chat. Is it going to have less people cheating the system or more people cheating the system? Anyone want to guess? I'll assume most of you say more. Yeah? All right. So 2024, 2023, more people breaking in, more illegal immigration, more drains on the system, less money. What about 2024? Do you think 2024 is going to have more or less people cheating the system, breaking in illegally, welfare fraud, is going to have more or less than 2023? Answers on a fucking postcard. 2025, is that going to have more? Ad infinitum, ad nauseum is the point I'm making. It's never going to get better while the commie, old school commie fucks that run the EU are in power. So it's never going to get better, ever. So what do you eventually get? If you have a pair of scales and you just keep loading shit onto them, eventually the fucking thing topples over. So they are completely out of ideas, other than money printer goes fucking burr, right? So it's fucked. And it can't be until you get a fucking lunatic in charge. And this is, ladies and gentlemen, the point of what I've been saying for the last fucking 3 years. It could have been reversed if you utilised centre-right, old-school conservatism within the last sort of 10 years. But now it's got to a critical mass where you can't. So all you're going to get is continuing decline until you get a fucking mad cunt who comes in. And this is what I've been saying for 10 years. This is what Peter Richards has been saying. If you just walked it back from the brink, you could get things done with centrism. You could simply apply the existing laws, deport all the people who should be deported, tighten up the immigration policies, get people back in work, chip away at the welfare state, chip away at the NHS overspending, chip away at the debts, tell people they're not allowed to use the NHS if they've been here for a while, until they've been here for... You could just set arbitrary limits. 3 years, you have to have paid in. £10,000, you have to pay in income tax before you can get the NHS. £20,000 in income tax before you can get a council house. All these little fucking things you could have done that would have fell under the umbrella of centrism, centre-right policies could have walked it back from the brink, but they haven't done that and they never will do it. So it's going to keep on trundling along, this tired, wheezing horse pulling this fucking three-legged wagon. It's going to keep trundling along like that. And then you're going to get a fucking mad cunt in charge, as usual. And if you know what you're talking about, this is what I keep saying, it's just history repeating itself. Adolf only turned up because the German people were unwilling to see the fucking babies starving in the cribs. If the frogs hadn't have pushed as aggressively as they did to basically bankrupt the fucking Germans, the Second World War would have never happened. The First World War caused the Second World War. It would have never happened if we'd have met them halfway and said, listen, we know you're all a bunch of cunts, but we obviously need to help you guys out. We can't fucking starve you into submission. Basically, exactly what they've done with the Russians. Take the piss out of them long enough for it to kick off. But nobody's willing ever to, like I keep saying, do prevention rather than a cure. So we're not doing it. We're not doing it. Prevention, we don't like prevention. We like doing it the fucking hard way. We like doing it the hard way. So it's going to keep trundling along. The European Union is going to be artificially kept afloat by printing more money. And every year they're going to let in more and more illegal immigrants and more drains on the state. And they're going to have to build more and more council houses for more and more illiterate, third world, aggressive, criminal men to live in. And people like us are going to get more and more pissed off and say, fuck this, I'm not working anymore. Fuck them. Like I said, I'm dangerously close. I've got savings. I'm dangerously close. If I didn't live in America, I think I'd have been like, you know what? I'm not doing it anymore. I'm going to draw back. I'm going to pull in all my resources I can possibly get. I'm going to get a tiny little bed sit somewhere, and I'm just going to stay in that. And I'm not producing anymore. I'm not giving you any income tax because now I actively view the state as being hostile to my interests. So whereas for years I was always happy paying my way, chipping in. Well, we all have to chip in for the greater good. We all have to chip in for the roads and the schools and the hospitals. Now I'm like, fuck them. They're actively against me, the people who run the state. They take the piss out of me all the time. I have to pay for everything. Everything I fucking do, I have to pay for. And everything an illegal criminal comes in for, he gets for nout. He comes out of fucking prison with teeth like Brad Pitt, Hollywood smile. He comes in skinny and fucking dying, and when he leaves the jail after his piffling sentence for raping an old woman to death, he's got Hollywood teeth, a pot belly, and a fucking and a nice hairdo and some fucking Armani jeans. I've had enough. And that's it's going to get worse every year. Every year, you're going to get more people annoyed, more people feel like they're getting the piss took out of them, more people who want to check out of fucking working and paying the taxes, and more people who want to come into this country and your country, your continent, and take the piss and drain your resources and contribute nothing good. And again, brilliantly, all the while, instead of talking about problems to fix these issues, instead of talking about solutions, what are you lads all busy talking about? What are you talking about? Miss Tess Tickle, the fucking drag queen story time. It's lunacy, which is why it's, like we said, clown world. It's fucking clown world. That's all we're talking about. The world's going to shit. Hell in a handbasket. And everyone's sat at home going, oh yeah, what about drag queen story hour? It's fucking lunacy. So yeah, you're in the shit. This whole thing, that whole rant explains why the dollar's still, despite our problems in the United States, it's still doing all right compared to the fucking euro. The Eurozone's fucked. So as I've told you a lot, many times in the last couple of years, batten down the hatches. It's going to get much worse before it gets better because that's the way we do it. We just do not like taking our fucking medicine. Right? Easy. I'm not telling you anything new. Batten down the hatches, stay fit. It's going to get fucking worse. What else have we got? Tim Westwood, obviously. Now there is it's nice to see the BBC finally reporting on the sex crimes of someone from an ethnic minority. Right? It's a well-known black man, Tim Westwood. You would assume that the BBC would have look over his sex crimes because he's not a white man, but it's nice to see. It's nice to see the BBC's finally focusing on the sex crimes of an ethnic minority. Good to see. Maybe the BBC's finally coming back to the centre ground. Right, so obviously DJ Tim, he's emulating his idol. He's emulating his idol, R. Kelly. And started bumming a lass when she was 14. Nice one. Cheers, Tim. Didn't see that coming. Didn't see that coming 10 mile away, did you? He was in his 30s and she said he's a predator. One of several to come forward after an investigation by BBC. Mr. Westwood hasn't responded to a request. Funny old thing. It's illegal in the UK to have sex with a 14-year-old, despite the best efforts of Harriet Harman, Keir Starmer, and Jess Phillips, and everybody else on the left. Despite their efforts, it is still illegal in the UK to have sex with a 14-year-old. If you walk, yeah, obviously you've been digging out blind because you're desperate to get up to your nuts and guts as soon as the past crawling age, you want to fucking fold them up and bum them. But thankfully, common sense has prevailed still, and it is illegal to have sex with. I know that'll come as a surprise to my walk friend in the chat, but it is still illegal to have sex with a 14-year-old in the UK, right? So it's nice to see the BBC finally going after an ethnic minority. They said they've investigated the stories of 10 women who came forward. Some said they encountered him when they were under 18, and one of them tried to top herself. She said she had sex with him when she was 14 and when she was 16, and she said he was controlling, and both women say the relationships were badly affected their mental health. So, yeah, there he is. Nonce. King of the nonces. Funny old thing that. It says one woman who was 20 when she met him at a student nightclub says he sexually assaulted her in a hotel room by pushing his penis into her mouth while she was resisted. Sounds like a nice fella. Although I do feel in the interest of telling both sides of the story, I think this is going to be another one of them Bill Cosby situations in it, where half of them, Richard, I'm obviously being sarcastic because Mr. Westwood is obviously, well, listen, if you can identify as a woman when you've got your meat and two veg and a clacker and a fucking beard, in fact, when you can basically look like me, again, in the 80s, at least you had to put some effort in. Now you can just look like me and go, I'm a fucking woman. And if you disagree, you're a cunt. So if Tim Westwood wants to say that he's black for the last 25 years, I'm just saying I think we should take him at his word. Shouldn't we? Is that not? I'm trying to be woke here. I'm trying to be tolerant and inclusive. Tim Westwood's been telling us all he's black for 25 years. I think he's entitled to his opinion, isn't he? It's a bit bigoted to deny him his race of choice, isn't it? Think about it. Like, this is what I've been saying about Talcum X or Rachel Dolezal or any of the numerous white people now that come out as black, because obviously they're on the top rung now. Being a different colour is a very tiny difference. It's literally just the amount of pigment in your skin. It's a very tiny difference to being a different gender, right? And we all agree that you can be a big hairy-ass sailor and you can still be a woman with a big beard and a big cock and no uterus or ovaries or sex organs of any kind. So you can still be a woman when you're a hairy-ass man. So why can't Tim Westwood be a black man? What do you mean? Sounds a bit bigoted to me. So this one, unfortunately, my walk friends, this disgusting non-sex pest, he's going in the, when they take which ethnic minority committed this heinous crime, definitely going in the blacklist, right? He's one of theirs. He's one of theirs. Why do these ethnic minorities insist on committing sex crimes, right? Put him in with the Rotherham lot, because that's what he tells you he is. Yeah, and if you disagree, well, you're a bit bigoted, because, you know, a man can be a woman and a woman can be a man. So Tim Westwood can be a big Nigerian pirate. Yeah, easy. An arse pirate. Easy. So that's another win for me. That's another win for me. I don't have to. It's too easy to win an argument when you're conservative nowadays, isn't it? Because you never have to put round pegs through square holes. I never contradict myself. Because I obviously, when I'm being serious, don't believe any of that fucking bollocks. But you do, my walk friends. You said a big hairy ass geezer with a 10-inch lob on can be a bird, and a big fat lass with a fanny like a yawning hippopotamus can be a fucking bloke. You said that. Yeah, you can be a pregnant man. Yeah, you can be a fucking woman with a fucking 10-incher. So you surely have to concede that Tim Westwood's a black man because he wants to be a black man. Yeah, so shut up morning. Shut up morning. Get these ethnic minority criminals locked up like they deserve. Easy. Although, yeah, I was going to say one thing in the interests of telling both sides of the story. I feel as if this, basically, it's going to be the same as Bill Cosby, isn't it? It's some women in our soulless, immoral, vacuous, money is everything world. Some women, not conservative women, I'm sure none of the women that watch me, but soulless, vacuous, vapid women only care about money and fame. So loads of them fuck these people consensually and then claim rape afterwards because they know there's some coin in it. Bill Cosby. Plenty of them were victims of rape and plenty of them weren't. And again, this is just common sense. And anybody who isn't a deranged wokist, so basically everybody works for the BBC, but anybody who's normal, any normal woman read about what went on with Cosby and said, yeah, lots of those women are full of shit, right? The ones that got assaulted once or twice weren't full of shit because he obviously is a rapist. But the ones who said, oh, yeah, I went on 14 dates with Bill Cosby over a 3-year period and he raped me on every single one of them, they're lying. Because if I went round fucking Ragnar's house for a pint and he dropped some Rohypnol in my drink and the next morning I woke up with a sore head and an even sorer fucking arsehole, you best believe I'm not going round Raggy's house for a drink ever again. It's not complicated, is it? If I wake up with a ring piece like the top end of a Wellington boot, I'm not going around his house ever again. Me and him are done. So if you believe that this one, for example, 20, when she met the DJ at a student club night, sexually assaulted her in his hotel room by pushing his penis into her mouth while she was resisting. Why did you go into his hotel room with him? What did you go into a hotel room with him for? Why did you suck him off in a hotel room? While she was resisting, I think it'd be quite easy to resist sucking a bloke off. If he was like threatening you, I'd be like, well, the second this goes in, I'm lopping the fucking head off it. If you try to force me to suck your cock, but you were a big, massive 8-foot scary geezer, and I was like Warwick Davies, all I'd do is like I'd feign, all right, go on, stick it in, and as soon as I had both chops around it, I'd take it fucking off at the hilt. Spit your fucking entirety of your penis in the corner of the room and then fucking break dance on it. Ooh, look what I've done. You've got no cock anymore. That's how you get around that, innit? Why did you go to his hotel with him? And so these, I don't believe. I think it's going to be the same as Bill Cosby. I don't want to stick up for the nonce, but I'm just saying common sense dictates large numbers of the women that accuse rich, famous, powerful men are lying because they can make a few quid out of it. You almost can't blame them because they've been raised by a morally bereft, soulless society that's told them it's all about the money. Yeah, well, she is British. Maybe she's got no teeth. I'd gum your fucking plums off. I guarantee I could gum your plums off. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll put a pin in this conversation. And when I'm 73 and I've got no teeth left, I will try and bite a man's penis off with only my gums. Yeah? Get your gums around me plums. So we'll put a pin in this conversation and I'll see if I can take your shaft off with me gums when I'm in my 70s. But until then, it's just going to have to be a morbid pub conversation and we'll argue and we'll never get to the bottom of it. We'll never get to the bottom of it. I'll get to the bottom of it with me fucking gums. I'll get to the bottom of it with my gums. And then tap dance on your penis, do a victory dance. Oh, look what I did. Took it off at the fucking stump. Cheers. Right. I think that'll do us. You've nearly had an hour there, you twats. I didn't get on to the other story I wanted to do, which was Scousers. Basically, amazingly, it wasn't the Scousers. You know, fucking hell, why always us? Apparently, the report really did say that it wasn't the Scousers fans. It wasn't the Scousers' fault. It was the Frogs. So just for once, I'm actually going to come out and say, well done, Scousers. It really wasn't your fault. Fucking hell, why always us there? Amazingly, it wasn't. It was the Frogs, who is, let's be honest, the group that's probably fucked up more things than anybody else. So it's believable. The one time the Scousers really weren't to blame, it was the French's fault. So, hey, it even makes sense, doesn't it? the one group of people more fucked up than the Scousers is the Frogs. So I'll buy that. I'll buy that report. Well done, Scousers. I apologise for my former claims that it was all going to be your fault in the first place because all you do is fucking whinge. It was the French's fault. So there's my mea culpa. I apologise for judging you. I apologise for judging you, Scousers. It wasn't you. It was the dirty Frenchman. All right? You know me. I'll always admit when I'm at fault, especially if admitting I'm at fault blames the French. So that's me. I'm happy to admit I was wrong this time, Scousers. That's win or win for me, isn't it? If I'm right, I'm loving it because it was the Scousers. And if I'm wrong, I'm loving it because it was the Frogs. That's the definition of win or win for the Angry Bootneck. Right. Thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Have a marvellous evening. I will see you tomorrow. Hopefully I won't be adrift, but life might get in the way. All right. Have a good night. Thanks for coming. See you all very soon. And damn the French. Damn the French. There's a very English thing for the Englishman to say. We can all agree on that. Cheers. See you later, folks. Bye-bye.